Everybody, Madison Devine! Really, I knew there was something different when I was a kid. My mother cried. She wasn't going to tell my father. In fact, she should have known herself when I was having female sleepovers. You know, I'd have 6 or 7 girls sleep over and no guys. You know, that should have been her first inkling that I'm having a slumber party instead of, you know, a camp out. Madison Devine is proud to be a full-figured gal. Is carefree. Doesn't care. Will walk up to anybody. Doesn't give a shit if you're 300 pounds or 130 pounds. Walk up and say you're beautiful. Not care if somebody gives them a double take or a who the fuck are you? First seen drag queens at Happy Endings Cafe, which was right in Armory Square. They had shows for probably about 3 or 4 months. And when 3 or 4 months passed of me sitting front row, tipping these queens probably $20 or more, I was absolutely amazed. Back in 2000, 2001, nobody came out. Nobody was gay. I mean, you didn't hold hands with your boyfriend. You didn't talk about kissing boys. I mean, the taunting got worse. I knew it would. I would randomly hear walking down the hallway, cocksucker, things like that. And it took an emotional toll. It probably went mute between my parents and I for about 1.5 years. My freshman year in college, I was open in school. I didn't talk about it in front of my parents. I was open in all of my college classes. If somebody asked, I said yes. By this time, I was saying I was gay. You know, the charade was over. Because by that time, I had went to charades and seen all these drag queens, and it was a subculture that I was amazed by. I found out real quick that most of them hated who they were. They could be somebody different. Add a little bit of them, but also at the same time, just be their inner selves without care. I mean, through makeups and wigs and duct tape and rhinestones, they weren't their boy personality. Nobody knew them as their boys. I will never forget the host of College Thursdays, Frito-Lay, who was probably about 5'9", balding, comes around the corner and says, "What you boys doing?" "Who the fuck are you?" He goes, "Is it better if I say, 'Hi, I'm Frito-Lay'?" My jaw dropped. Because Frida looked like a soccer mom in drag. Now you've got this short, balding man who looked 100% different. It went from creepy to amazing. There's a story underneath what everybody sees. And that's the other thing that I loved about drag queens. It was a whole nother story. It was a different personality. Because he was able to go from one dynamic, because he's a mechanic, from a mechanic to a soccer mom. That's a combination you wouldn't think of. He was very masculine build, very big hands and hairy arms, and I didn't think about it. Seeing that transition was the big difference there. Really led me to go, And that was about the time, too, that was the same day that I remember Frida looking at me and saying, "So when are you going to be a drag queen?" 10 years this past October. I hide as much as everybody else still. I know what I'm hiding. As Madison, I'll walk up and be like, "Honey, you're cute," and grab his package. But if I walked up as a boy and did it, I'd probably have a black eye. It gives me a chance to hide from the life that has in all honesty, Madison's a savior right now. Being able to go out on that stage and not think about Mom being dead, my father being an ass and not even being there, being unemployed after being in a job that I loved. I was hit with a rough time, and now, tomorrow night, I'll go out and I will give it my all and just take all of that pain and throw it somewhere else. Madison's closet has its skeleton. Madison's closet is my life.